let's jump into it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup number 16. This is the upper bracket quarterfinals A between myself and SHRIKE. Yeah, it's never fun to try to cast yourself because, you know exactly how the game turns out. So, but I am not going to spoil it for you, and we have our info.txt here to read, so let's go ahead and check it out. He grabs Coalition, I take Conf. Why do I play Conf? Well, I was kind of trying to prove something, actually. People have been talking some mad nonsense about blast drones being too weak, and also I wanted to try for the 10-piece chicken nugget build, so that was the idea there. I banned Kartova. Honestly, not really sure why, but anyway, SHRIKE is gonna grab Torrent Crater, and then he takes Titan Passage for game 1. Really exciting to see, because this is a map that we don't usually get played, right? Looks like it's just gonna be a rail rush for me. I take Canyon Outpost for game 2. And then the Shallows for game 3. And if you know anything about how I've been playing recently, this is obviously to try for some nonsense. Retiring the PC and building a bunch of blast drones. SHRIKE is going to take the Boneyard, and then Kalash Teeth will be the potential ace match. As I pause to take a sip on my drink. I feel very productive today. I applied for a bunch of jobs and I did my dishes, so I'm allowed to do casting now. It's fine. Oh, I guess we're still on this thing. Let's run another test because I'm always paranoid. Good. So you can see it's going to be SC first here from SHRIKE. LEV Fab is on the way. So he's not playing this too greedy. By the way, always send the probe after LEV Fab is started. Which is not what he did. Oh, he made a mistake. Terrible. Anyway, this probe actually probably wants to just run... Oh, hey, SHRIKE. And yeah, actually, I should point that out in just a second. But this probe probably should run down through mid, and then back away at the last second when it sees the PC there, because he wants to know if there's an attack coming. But I think he's probably getting the sensors ping, so I think he knows. Yeah, if you didn't know, my internet was down for like a month. Freaking ridiculous. These games we played, me using like a mobile hotspot on my phone, so the lag is pretty bad. And SHRIKE was really quite a trooper putting up with that nonsense. So, keep that in mind when you watch this game. It was played under some pretty bad lag. Anyway, Railgun Fab is on the way for me. Looks like I'm running by the carrier at first. Yes. And then we're gonna see a turret get dropped down here. This is, by the way, why you keep the base runner, otherwise this main base would be in some trouble. But seeing the turret, I'll just back away. You can see I wanted to take a self, but couldn't quite do it. Totally fine, though. I'm actually happy to make him drop the turret down, and now our priority is going to be on attacking this base over here. You can see assault railguns being built at the moment. And we might get heavies later, but I like the assaults because they can cover me against LAV spam. And for SHRIKE, I would be expecting to see carrier production upgrade come up in a moment here. But he's actually got, like, no money at all, so I'm not sure what he's managed to spend it on, but that's pretty impressive. Probably, like, dropping the turret doesn't help that way, right? I mean, this is why it's good to force your opponent to drop that turret. Because, it'll give you some time that your opponent is not able to, get that production upgrade. It costs him a lot of money. Indeed, actually, he's gonna drop by for power 1 here. I like it in principle, right? I mean, he's trying to make sure that he can have a bit more defense against these railguns. And to be sure, this is kind of a problem for him. I would actually be powering up the armor here because he's taking quite a lot of damage, and armor is very effective against assault rails. Well, with how they fire 3 or 4 shots every time, I can't exactly remember, but... It's basically like saying each point of armor is 3 times as effective against them. As it stands, though, he's got this support cruiser that's doing him a bit of healing. There's a second PC from me. Of course, it's important to get that second PC out because, obviously, your opponent spamming the LAVs is going to have more than you eventually, so I want to make sure that I've got some defense. And the first heavy has hit the field as well. But you know what? Saying all that, SHRIKE actually does not have carry production upgrades, so... makes me a little worried for his chances here. You really need a lot more units than this. Although he does have Assault Pack now, but... Still, you can see on the count, it's 9-9. He's not actually ahead there, and I have the 2 assault rails. So this will be a little bit tough for him. There's the boost. Looks like he wants to jump on me. And he'll be going for the railguns. Looks like he actually wants the heavy. But the problem here, of course, is that even if he gets this, which it looks like he will, but he's going to lose all of his LAVs for it. From forward turret setup, though, that actually is kind of cool. Still, that shouldn't be too hard to wipe out if there's no LAVs to trade with. Like, the idea is that, look, if I jump on this, I'm going to take losses, right? And so, if you have a bunch of LAVs, you can stop me from fighting that, but he doesn't, so that turret is going to go down without too much fuss. There goes the base runner as well. And almost gets one of these assault rails, but not quite. It's a little unfortunate. And now I feel pretty confident. I just don't need any, I don't need any skims anymore, so I'm just gonna start pumping out heavy rails, I believe. That's what I should do anyway. Carrier production upgrade coming out now. It's a little bit late, but better late than never. Powering up the armor, too. That's good. That's good. But I think really this game is pretty much over already. And I'm just gonna keep hammering him until he has to back up off the base, and then, you know, the game's really just over from here. Yeah, LAVs, again, gonna try to make a bit of a desperate dive on the rails, but you're not gonna get anything done like that, so SHRIKE sees the writing on the wall, and they'll GG out. Pretty straightforward game 1. Again, sorry, I'm not very energetic when I cast my own games. It's always a little bit awkward. And here we are on Canyon Outpost, which is, of course, my pick. And surely the idea here was to do some blast drone shenaniganry. Like I said, I kind of felt like I had something to prove going into this. And so I wanted to sort of show that blast drones are pretty powerful when they're used right. Problem is, I'm already doing this build wrong. I should be canceling this salvager here and going for a sandskimmer fab as fast as I can. Also, check this out, the fake out, right? Always smoke the base runner. Well, you think I'm retiring then, don't you? But I'm not! Anyway, yeah, this salvager here is a mistake. I've talked about this before in the blast drone factory, so it's a little embarrassing that I'm doing it wrong myself, but the timing window for this is so small. Like, you've got to get right in there and do your damage immediately. And so even just stopping off for the one salvager is a mistake. First thing you build should be the blast drone out of the base runner. Then you do a little quick drop to get sandskimmer fab, and then you start pumping them out. And it doesn't matter that you don't have salves on main. You're hoping to do as much or more damage to your opponent. Excuse me. I was eating a bunch of peanut butter before this. You know how I am. I think there's a clip of my peanut butter addiction on this channel. Anyway, Fleet Cat 45 gonna have to get teched eventually, but we do have sandskimmer fab done. First blast drone is out, second one is coming, and this is about when I want to be landing already. Only about a minute and 30 into the game, so this is also a bad detour over here. I ought to just drive right up, see if I can damage these salves, and then the skims will pick them off. But again, I only have one sandskimmer, right? And this is because I built that salvager and delayed how many skims were going to be out. So it's hard to finish off the kills there. Now, in Jaraci, you can still kill salvagers with 2 blast drones, but in vanilla, blast drones, I believe, don't have any fall-off at all, which makes it very, very powerful. And so in Jaraci, generally you want 3 if you're going to be trying to kill salvagers with just the blast drones. That's why I'm coming here with the skims, of course, is that I'll do some damage with the 1, maybe even the 2nd if it comes out in time, and then I'll try and finish off the kills with the skims. But again, waiting much too long here. SHRIKE actually can see me right now. I'm almost certain he's building an LAV, so I need to be going right away. Come on, Bozo! Go! Go! What are you waiting for? Anyway, probe gonna get slapped right here. I'm so good at talking sometimes. Anyway, AV Fab, as you can see, is actually finished. Holy crap, that was a pretty good hit. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, despite all the mistakes I made, it looks like the game is just over now. Pretty bad smoke on the base runner, by the way. That should wait until he's actually getting attacked by something. Jeez Louise. I'll bet you the lag helped me out there. SHRIKE is in chat. You should. That's Cold Blow Code in the chat, by the way. He has a different name on Twitch than on Steam. Tell me what that looked like from your perspective, because I can imagine having that much lag. It's just impossible to split for the blast drones. Oh my gosh. And it looks like my follow-up to this is just going to be trying to kill him right away. I have Railgun Fab on the queue, so we're going to go for some rail spam and see if we can just end the game right away. Yeah, if you get a hit like that with the blast drones, the game really is just about over. It would be nice for SHRIKE to power up his healing so you can get that logistics module healed, by the way. Good smoke. But this PC should be running, because I don't want to be having the railgun pop out right on top of this AV. It looks like it'd be fine. Sunder, of course, makes the Sand Skimmers much more effective against the AAV. Yeah, looks like SHRIKE isn't watching. That's too bad. I wouldn't want to watch if I were him either. Now, I'm telling you, man, having that much lag playing against this build in particular, it's just evil. Maybe I kind of feel bad about this in retrospect, but I had to prove that it was good, right? I had to prove it. Even though I did it, like, terribly badly, too. That was kind of embarrassing. And why am I getting ref mode now? Like, what's the deal here? I should just end the game. Like, this ref mode could be spent on another PC instead, and then I could just win. Oh, casting your own games, man. I'll tell you what, it's really good for improving. Because you see your mistakes and they just make you want to tear your eyeballs out, you know, but it's also very hard to do. Looks like SHRIKE gonna try and smoke up so that he can attack with the AVs. This is a good strategy, by the way. People don't do this enough. And why is my army so paper thin, I wonder? But I do have the 2 blast drones, and you'd be surprised how much damage they can do to AVs. One of them gets taken out, though. But still, you can see quite a bit of damage there, actually. So we're gonna get one more shot off. Good, good. That'll sunder this guy. But it looks like still SHRIKE managed to hold off the attack. He killed off the railguns, and so I did some good damage there, but he's gonna survive. Very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy of me. And also, I should not be picking up this artifact, because if I do, I can't run away from the AVs. You can see I'm gonna elect not to grab that and just run instead. Conf base runners? Conf base runners are actually faster than AVs by 1 unit per second. I didn't know that. Point is, I can't get away from him, but if I pick up that artifact, I will be dead. Although I disparage the fact that I went back to 2 base like this, and now it's gonna be 3 base. You do still have to say, I mean, look, my opponent is still on 1, so it still feels pretty good for me, even though it's probably not optimal. And you can see with the army on the field, it just doesn't really compare now, right? And that's only gonna get worse because I'm on 2 base, soon to be 3 versus 1. That's never a place that your opponent wants to be in. That LAV traded really well, though. Jeez. I think I'll get away with this guy. Just about. He's playing Coalition. Fighter and gunship, by the way. Interesting. Amazingly passive game by me. I mean, why have I not just won the game already? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I wanted to build more blast drones, which, you know, to be fair, I've got many of them now. And this is kind of a feint in some ways, right? Like, look, I'm getting 2 artifacts out, you want to stop that. But if you take your army over there, I end the game over here. So this is a really good thing to do when you're this far ahead. Make your opponent decide between impossible situations, right? Like, he has to just let me extract. What else can he do? But that feels terrible, right? So this is how you want to play when you're ahead. Fighter and gunship tech is finished now. As you can see, the launch pad's opened there, and now you got the targets. That's how you know your opponent has fighter and gunship. Reading carriers is important. Looks like I build my next production cruiser. And I have rail EMP, what the heck? That's nice. These skims should probably not just get themselves killed though. I would recommend not letting your skims just die for no reason. Can you tell if they have bombers? No, because their coalition, the gunship also gets unlocked because of that. By the way, that light blinking tells you that he's building one, so if I was paying attention, I would know that there was a gunship coming out here. And here it comes. He's gonna use it right away, as he must. I mean, this is pretty dire. Really, really good splits by me here. Okay, there we go. Man, this is like the worst game of mine that I've ever cast, I tell you what. And this is pretty bad too, because like look, all the railguns are gonna die here. There's only one left. Oh gosh. I'm so good at DOK, man. I'm like the best player that ever lived. We got 5 blast drones over here on the main though. Look, if 3 is enough, 5 is definitely enough. Just don't hit the AV. Oh my gosh! No, 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 no. No, not like this. I blame the lag. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Oh my goodness. Anyway, missile ship fab is done now, so I'm sure I'm building... Well, I should be building some of these. That was like the worst blast drone attack I've done in my life. I blame the lag. Woo! Look, I'm losing on the units lost tab, like badly too. This is like the sloppiest victory I'll ever have if I win this game. Like, I should have just finished him with the railguns. That was easy. Or I could have just not sucked in the mid-game either way. Ay, ay, ay. Yep, yep. No, I mean, he's right. You know, I deserve the flame right here. Yeah. Nice missile hit, though. That was, like, actually perfect. Holy crap. Now these guys can finish it off, surely. Although, I think Armor 2 just finished. I saw him turn blue for a second, anyway. Yeah, you can see Gunship gonna try and stop the extractions here. This is artifact point. I mean, actually, I have one more than I even need. Eventually, the carrier will finish off the AV. There we go. Oh, 16! Oh, I'm so good. That was a nice split of missiles there. And yeah, Shrike sees he can't stop the extractions. He's gonna just GG. Terrible, terrible game by me. But hey, I won, so it's alright. Whew. Speaking of terrible games, on we go to the Shallows. Since when do I play Conf? I was kind of trying to prove that blast drones are not bad, so... And it sort of worked that game. I mean, the initial blast drone hit was, like, devastating, even though I kind of screwed it up, but... Well, when I'm 2-0 in the scoreline, I like to just screw around a little bit, and here we are on the Shallows, so... Basement, or PC retire, here we go. This should never work, by the way. The problem is that, of course, you don't have a production cruiser. There's not really too much to... There's not really too much else to say about that. But on top of that, Shrike knew that I've been doing this recently, and so he was like, I'm not gonna freaking lose to this crap, so he just blind counters it. Look, he's getting carrier systems already. And so his idea is to say, oh, I guess he canceled it, maybe he'll get his SC first. But I believe the idea here is to say, like, okay, look, I'm gonna just rush carrier power myself. Yeah, it looks like it will be that SC. And then if if my opponent is doing what I think he's doing, then he'll just die, because the Coalition carrier is better than the Conif carrier in the early game. Pretty good strategy overall. What am I doing? Nothing good. Nothing good. By the way, never do this. This is a bad build. Man, these guys should mine RUs from here. Yeah. Anyway, you can see blast drones building from the base runners. I've got 3 of them out. Quite a lot of blast drones done, and any spare CUs are going to be spent on more. Is this the equivalent of a worker rush? I don't know, man. You know who used to do this quite a lot was Catharsis, and he was really good at it too, but that was on the old shallows where, like, the bases were here instead of here, so I think your opponent would be a little bit further away. Yeah, this should never be allowed to work. Like, if you die to this, you should just end your DOK career. In vanilla, it was a lot stronger, and also on the vanilla shallows, but in Jaraci, this is just a bad strat. But I had to try it, man. I had to try it. And sure enough, you can see SHRIKE already with Systems 1. He'll start taking 2 now any moment, I'm sure. Either that, or maybe he wants to go for mobility instead. I wouldn't even bother with LAV. Well, I guess he has a large CU float, so maybe he might as well. There it is, the triple extract! Let's go, lads! Yeah, it looks like he'll go for mobility. You know, that's actually probably a good call, because he wants to get on top of me as fast as possible. And with the blast drones, I'll see carrier here. And you can see I want to start putting the damage down right away, but little do I know I'm kind of playing into his hand here. So I'm going to start running. And now I see the green health bar on the carrier. That tells you that your opponent has got systems tech. That's not what you want to see. And Sikai Jin saying I can probably outrun him. Actually, no. With the mobility support, I'd have 45 speed, and with the carrier mobility done, he's got 51. But that probably changes as I get more carrier power, but still, I kind of need to keep it up in the weapons here. And for now, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. Although I shouldn't, by the way, because he's winning, but... but I didn't realize it just yet. These support cruisers are coming out, and that's when things are going to start getting difficult. I realized that, okay, look, he's not on his base, so let me drive over here and see if I can just blow up his eco. Which I should do. I can't imagine this goes too wrong. Wow, that was like the worst blast drone hit imaginable. Yeah, with 5 blast drones, you really should be able to kill the entire base, so that was pretty bad. Anyway, at this point, I'm starting to realize, like, oh shoot, he's actually beating me. I know, right? Anyway, I should just power up all the weapons, which is what I'm doing. You think? Yeah, I know I'm throwing. And with these support cruisers coming out, I mean, this is the real problem, right? Like, if I don't kill these things, he's gonna win just by having more, he's gonna win just by having more healing than I do, right? And so I have to kill those things first, but then they distract me from doing so much damage to this carrier. He's even starting to throw LAVs into the mix, just for whatever damage they can do. But more importantly, look like my missiles are actually hitting the LAVs instead of his carrier. That's not good. I'm like smoking to buy time here as I power up the healing. Yeah, there's no getting out of this. So really, heads up play by SHRIKE there. He knew what I was gonna do and he blind countered it, you know? If you get too predictable, you die, so... That was the game, yes, that was definitely... one of the games of all time. Let's just try and forget about that and move on to map 4.
Gaussian air units inbound.
Who is this? Sikai Jin, the most game of all time. It's true. It's true. Thanks for the sub. So, game 4, I still am... I still have my opponent on match point, and so I decide what I'm gonna do is screw around again. This is what I call the 10-piece chicken nugget build. Only 2 smoke plumes. Okay, in this case, he actually knows that I basically retired. Anyway, the idea is that if you can get 10 PCs, it looks like 10-piece chicken nugget. So, that's what I want to do. Big shout out to Cow Schmau for suggesting this asinine build that I have to do. Yeah, well. Anyway, I think that SHRIKE, however, he was expecting I was gonna carrier rush again. So he's gonna do the same build as last time. Which kind of foils my plans. Yeah, I know, it's stupid, but I had to do it, man. I had to do it. Whew. All I need is LAV, Garmulator style. Yeah, I could do that. Group stage of JC17. It can be done. It can be done. JC17 starts on the 20th of this month. That's in 10 days. By the way, make sure to join Jaraci Cup 17. Link is in the description. For when this inevitably goes up on YouTube. If the link isn't in the description, I'm gonna be made fun of for that, I'm sure. But it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. By the way, don't be greedy when you go ref mode first. I have a Sandskimmer fab. I built one. I'm actually gonna make 3, it looks like, and then get my Fleet Cat 45. Don't be greedy when you go ref mode first. You will die. Alright. And this is a good example of that. I mean, look, if I don't know that my opponent is coming with his carrier, I'm gonna be in some serious trouble. So, you can understand why I'm doing this. There's the blip. I see a support cruiser here. I'm like, what the crap? There's a carrier. So now I know what's coming for me. And probably, yep, cancel the production cruiser, get someone mining on RUs over here, get these 2 mining RUs, and get railgun fab as soon as I can. That's what I should do anyway. What am I doing? What is... What? I'm bad at this game. Yeah, all I need is RUs right now. Look at this giant CU float, right? I don't need to be mining that. Frankly, terrible. Frankly, terrible. You can see Fleet Cap comes up just so that I can, like, spend the CU bank, but... No. Look, the day that that happens, I will eat my shorts, as Peter likes to remind me I once said. By the way, there's a lot of nonsense talk going around that like Sandskimmers can't even attack a base because support cruisers are too strong. I want you to watch what happens over here and see what I do. Look, this is even a bad start. I just let them get shot for a second. I just hold ground while I'm attacking one salvager, and I can kill it. Look at that. And when someone gets low, I back them away. You see? This is how you fight bases when you don't have many units. It's really not that hard. Anyway, Railgun Fab is done, heavies are coming out, but SHRIKE is on top of me, so this is, you know, this is something to be thinking about. That's true, by the way. But if you do Sauvon, you can't be doing this, of course. First missile lands a hit on the carrier, that's nice, but it will be healed up by those support cruisers. The real deal is this railgun, and again, the key in this kind of situation is that you gotta kill off those SCs. That's the priority. Salvager retired coming out now. These guys can't really mine anymore because the carrier's on top of them, so... You know, we might as well just get the money back. And again, we're just trying to kill off those SCs. We're doing as much damage on main as we can, but it looks like I kind of just gave up and suicided these guys. You know, Sick, you might be right, actually. Maybe it's best if you just go for the LDMs there. Anyway, at moments when the support cruisers are not with the carrier, it's fine to just be shooting the carrier. It'd be good for this PC to have been running as well, but it's probably okay. He kind of can't afford to be not hitting my carrier right now. And now his SCs are healing again, but I think I'm just out-damaging him, so I'm just going to stay on the carrier. High ground goes a long way as well. And that'll be all she wrote. Well, that truly was the most series of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but 3... I know I didn't. Anyway, 3-1 for me. I'm going to move up to the semifinals. Thanks for watching.